Same shirt, different day. So, welcome back to my channel. This is my May wrap-up video. I read 10 books this month, and now I'm going to talk about them. The first one I read was Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief. It's the first one in the Percy Jackson and the Olympian series by Riordan. I gave it 5 stars. This was a reread. I have a full review of it if you're interested. The short version is I really like this book and I really like the series. It's one of my childhood favorites. The plot is about Percy finding out that he is a half-blood, which means his one of his parents, in his case it's his dad, is a Greek god. In his case it's Poseidon, and he goes on a quest to stop the gods from fighting each other, which is always a good thing to do. And yeah, the next one I read was The Guest List by Lucy Foley. This is basically a murder mystery where the whole book is kind of building up to the murder at the end, and it switches point of view so you can understand everyone who's involved in the situation. I gave this book 3 stars. I thought it was good. I thought it could have been a lot better. At points I wasn't really super engaged, but as a story in general, it did its job. It was enjoyable. I have a reading blog of it that I'm gonna link below. This wrap-up is full of those. The next one I read was The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. This is basically about this girl named Esther, and it kind of follows her life for a couple of months and all of her struggles with everything that she struggles with. Trigger warning for suicide and some mental health discussions. I give this book 3 stars. I think it had some interesting things to discuss, but also I did not relate at all to Esther. I just kind of didn't care about her character that much, so I didn't really want to continue reading at a lot of points during the book, but it wasn't super long and I found the content it was talking about interesting, which is what kept me going. The next one I read was The Sea of Monsters, also by Riordan. It's the second one in the Percy Jackson series. Read a bunch of them this month. This is Percy and his squad going to the Sea of Monsters to retrieve the Golden Fleece, and it's great. I rated 5 stars. I still really enjoy these books. I have a full review that I'm gonna link in the description, and yeah. The next one I read was The Way You Make Me Feel by Maureen. I already addressed this one in my Asian readathon wrap-up. I thought it was okay. I didn't really care that much about Clara. I don't think Maureen was very good at establishing characters and making them people that you care about, really. Which is what stopped me from fully enjoying this book. The next one I read was The Girl with 7 Names by hyeonseo. I also discussed this in my Asian readathon wrap-up. I'm now thinking I have made individual videos about too many of these books and I need to read more books. This is Anne. I did this in the other one too. This is an autobiography of hyeonseo. She escaped North Korea. This is her story. I didn't rate this one just because I feel weird about that. I think that it was a very interesting book to read, and it was a very hard book to read, and it was a very important book to read since it's important to kind of know what's going on in these other parts of the world. That's what I think about that book. I'm just rushing through these today. The next one I read was Percy Jackson and the Titan's Curse, and this is the 3rd book in the Percy Jackson and the Olympian series. It's the last one of these that I have read this month, so y'all get a break from me talking about Percy Jackson for the rest of this video. It's Percy and there's another quest, and it's really good, and I rated 5 stars, and yeah, there's gonna be a full review of that one coming out in the next couple of weeks, so if you want to see that, stay tuned. Then I read Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste. This is the story of two families getting caught up in a custody battle for a child. It's very interesting. I rated it 5 stars. I really enjoyed reading this book. I found all the characters very interesting to read about. I found all their personalities were very distinct, all their voices were very distinct, and I also found that this book has a lot of interesting topics that it discusses in a very good way, I think. None of it is super forceful or anything. It just kind of discusses the topics and leaves you to make your own conclusions, which I really like. The next one I read was And the Mountains Echoed by Khaled Hosseini. This is the story of two siblings, Buddy and Abdullah, who get separated at a very young age, and it kind of follows them and a bunch of people that they meet throughout their lives until their story is resolved. I also really love this book. I rated 5 stars. I really enjoy the way that Khaled Hosseini writes. I've read 3 of his books so far, and I've loved every single one of them. They all make me cry like a baby. I think he's a great writer. I recommend his books to every single person that I meet. The final book that I read this month was Pretty Girls by Karin. I rated this book 5 stars. This was a super hard book for me to read. It's about this, it's basically about the mystery of these girls who are going missing. So a while ago, the point of view characters, it switches between 2 points of view. Their sister went missing, and in the present day, another girl goes missing in much the same way, and they kind of get thrown into this situation where they find a couple of clues, and then they start unraveling the mystery behind these disappearances. And it's really good. Karin writes so well. Her writing is super engaging. However, the book has a lot of hard things to read about in it, trigger warning for everything. Just go into this book prepared. It's not gonna make you happy. I know I was sobbing. I don't want to say more because I don't want to give it away, because it's a really good book. It was very engaging, and but at points it gets so graphic that I had to take a break because it was too much for me. I was I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna play some Animal Crossing, I'm gonna eat some cookies, and I'm gonna come back to this because it's it was too much for me to handle all at one time. I don't mean to scare you off from the book, just go into it prepared, because I mean I went into it prepared and it still kind of caught me off guard because I wasn't really expecting anything so terrible. And yeah, that's all of the books that I have to talk about for this month. This wrap up went way faster than I expected it to. If you like that video, please like and subscribe and comment, and bye.